Welcome, I'm Dr. Melina Roberts, and I want to talk about the connection between sluggish bile and weight loss. Now, there's a number of reasons that the bile can become sluggish. One of those reasons is if we have a high amount of fat-soluble toxins that are coming into the body, and it gets challenging for the bile to be able to handle these high amounts of fat-soluble toxins. So this bile over time just ends up becoming thickened and doesn't move as effectively. Now, another reason that the bile can become sluggish is if we are not taking in sufficient amounts of nutrients that help to keep the bile flowing really well and help it to become thin. Now, another reason that the bile can become really congested is if in our diet we are taking in a high amount of sugar content. And that high amount of sugar content can cause that bile to become really thick and not as mobile. And another reason we can get that sluggish bile is if we don't have enough hydrochloric acid, because we need that hydrochloric acid to help stimulate effective bile flow. Now, what can happen if we have this sluggish bile is that when those fat-soluble toxins are coming into our body, then the bile isn't able to bind to it and effectively ensure that it moves out of the body. So what happens is then we have a number of unbound fat-soluble toxins that get shifted into circulation. And then what our body does as a protective mechanism to move those unbound fat-soluble toxins out of circulation is it then moves those fat-soluble toxins into fatty tissues. And one of the ways it does it is it moves it into adipose tissues. And then it makes those adipose tissues grow because now we have more fat-soluble toxins being stored in those fat cells. And what can happen is then we can have some weight gain. And what happens is that it makes it really challenging for our body to be able to lose weight until we can safely and effectively release these fat-soluble toxins into circulation and then have our bodies effectively move that toxic load out of the body. So this can be a challenge because then we can have patients who are doing intense exercise and they could have even changed their diet. But until we can decrease the toxic load that is coming into the body, we can have that liver functioning better, we can heal up the digestive tract, then it isn't safe for our body to start releasing that toxic load into circulation to ensure that it can safely make its way out. On the flip side of that, there are some people who also will have some rapid weight loss. And with that rapid weight loss, they will be releasing a lot of that fat-soluble toxins. They'll be released into circulation. And if our body is not effectively able to bind those fat-soluble toxins and effectively ensure that they're moving out of the body, then what can happen is we can end up with more health problems in the body. So this is a very important connection to understand, is to understand the connection between sluggish bile and an increase in fat-soluble toxic load in the body and weight loss. And being able to understand that connection and what we need to do in order to ensure that those fat-soluble toxins are bound and can effectively move out of the body, and how they can contribute to weight gain and also the role they play in terms of weight loss. All right, so thank you so much for watching. I encourage you to share this with your friends and family, to press the like button, to make a comment below, and until next time, continue to learn, grow, and build health.